Hi there, Lynda Artesani here from the Law Lab. If you are a bookkeeper in 2026, especially if you're a legal bookkeeper, you know that IOLTA compliance isn't optional. It is everything when you work with law firms and attorneys. One wrong move in the trust account, it can trigger bar audits or fines or even worse. And we've helped dozens of firms fix messy trust accounting. And that's just one of the things that we do. It's the start of a lot of our engagements with clients. And today I'm going to give you the ultimate step-by-step guide to master IOLTA account management, nail a three-way bank reconciliation. If you've not heard about that, I'm going to tell you what that is, and then streamline client trust reporting, and then help you pick the best legal accounting software that we can find for your firm. So working with lawyers, the best one you can recommend to your clients. So if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and you'll never want to miss one of our videos. So let's dive in. A quick refresher on what an IOLTA is. IOLTA is an acronym for Interest on Lawyers' Trust Accounts. It lets attorneys pool short-term client funds like upfront retainers or settlements, and sometimes retainers, you think of them as a deposit, a prepayment, and then also interest goes in and out of there. Then that interest is used to help with legal aid, not to the clients, but to people who need that kind of help. It's a pretty cool reason for the funds. So the number one rule is no commingling. You don't intermix the client's operating funds with the trust accounts. That is separate money. It's money that's client's money, and you keep it 100% separate from any operating accounts. You want to track every client's balance individually. You want to make sure that even if it's in a pooled trust account, so a lot of them have a pooled bank account, you want to keep that money separated. So even though it's one account, one balance at the end of the month, you get the statement in, whatever's in that balance, you need to know how to break it up to see who it belongs to for every single person that it belongs to. You track that client's balance individually, even in a pooled account. And then you need to follow the strict state-specific IOLTA regulations, and they vary state to state. So as that legal bookkeeper, you need to find out what those regulations are for wherever your client is practicing law, and then it helps them set up the transactions, the reporting, any of the other rules that may apply to that specific area. So if there's non-compliance in a law firm, it's a high risk of audits. Audits freak your clients out. I'm going to tell you that right now. Recent surveys show that only about 41% of law firms really feel that they're audit ready. That's not a high percentage. So mastering this will help you protect the law firm and also help your attorney protect their sanity. We're going to talk now about why client reporting matters. So accurate trust accounting, why obsess over it? It's going to help the law firm build unbreakable trust with their clients. And it's going to give clear statements of their accounts. It's important. A lot of times, even if there's no activity in a client account, they still have to report and send that out to the client to let them know what the balance is. It's going to give the law firm real-time visibility for cash flow and planning. So they'll know how much money's in their operating, what's coming in, what's a possibility that's going to come in, the work that's being done. Also, if you start to set it up properly, you're going to be able to spot any discrepancies early. Anything that happened by mistake, somebody put some money in the wrong account, money was transferred in error, the bank took money out in a fee out of the IOLTA, you'll be able to find that and then help reimburse that to cover it because you want to catch them early so they don't become audit red flags. And you want to make sure that the law firm that you're working with meets the bar rules for transparent records and audit trails. In law firm work, credibility lives and dies by flawless financial transparency. You don't want to skip on the solid reporting because you'll risk the relationships and the reputation with their client. They'll risk that, the relationship with their client, if there's any chance of a law firm client thinking there's any impropriety. So it's important. So the real pain points that legal bookkeepers face daily is tracking the amount of money per client. So a lot of times we work with the clients and the law firm may be working out of an account they're using Clio and they're putting all this information in Clio and then they're transferring money over here, but the two don't correlate. And the bank is always the source of truth. That is what happened in real life. No matter what they pumped into Clio doesn't always mean that it correlates back to what happened at the bank. Numbers can get transposed. Maybe an entry gets put into Clio, but it doesn't happen at the bank. So those are important things to look for. You want to make sure that you track the per client balances in the pooled IOLTA accounts. You want to do timely and accurate three-way bank reconciliations. And a three-way is whatever the bank statement balance is, plus or minus anything that's in transit, meaning plus or minus deposits in transit or checks in transit that haven't cleared the bank. You're comparing that to the trust ledgers. So the ledger account, the ledger balance, whatever's in the bank, you're comparing it to the bank statement. And then also the client ledgers, because all those client ledgers have to equal that trust ledger. It's a very important part of the work that we do. You want to keep up with any changing IOLTA regulations, sign up. You got a client in California, sign up to get on the list that changes come through. You can read them and stay on top of them, because just because you don't know it's a rule doesn't take away the chances of you having a problem with a client. You need to be in the know all the time on the changing rules. If you have a workflow that's manual, you don't have Clio, you don't have LeanLaw, you've got this manual process, manual entries cause errors. I'm going to tell you right now, that is a place that we see errors when somebody's got this, I don't want to pay for the software, and they start this patchwork of steps to make this all work and not have the software. Don't do it. It's not worth it. The time you save by having the software and having the automation pieces is worth the price of the software. And if you have high transaction volumes in a law firm, there's a lot of transactions, say it's family law or it's immigration law, that can be overwhelming, especially with larger firms. So these also waste a lot of time and it spikes a risk. So the good news is automation through modern trust accounting software is going to fix all those problems. That's important. You want that software. You want that Clio. You want that LeanLaw. You want some kind of software in place. So here's my top 6 legal bookkeeping best practices for 2026. Number 1, keep those ledgers separate. Log every transaction with the date, amount, and the description. It's important to have all of those pieces in place, especially when transactions go awry and something happened that you had to fix. You want really good notes. Perform that three-way bank reconciliation every month. Larger firms, we kind of soft reconcile weekly to stay on top of it. But if it's really big, instead of that big project at the end of the month, you just reconcile as you go. Match everything and fix issues immediately. If you see something like, oh, they took money out of the checking account for a check order, replace that money. They took a wire fee out. Make sure that money gets transferred over to be covered from the operating to trust, to cover that money that should have never been taken out of trust in the first place. Hands down, zero commingling. Enforce that strictly. That's important. Number 4, document obsessively. So lots of notes, ironclad audit trails, because if you're audited, they might not audit you on last month. They might go all the way back and audit you years before. You need copious notes. It's very important. Stay updated. Subscribe to the State Bar IOLTA alerts and train your team on ethical obligations, privacy, security. All of these are key components to working with attorneys. Do these consistently and you're going to sleep better at night, and so will your client, because you're keeping them compliant. We're going to talk a little bit now about the top software tools. So as we talk about the tools, here's a 2026 roundup of the best legal software for IOLTA compliance. And I'm going to tell you why my top 2 are the 2 that we recommend at our firm. We really stick to these 2, although we've had some of the other ones we've worked with, but I'm going to tell you why. Clio is a powerhouse. It is a large company. It has a lot of tools. It's a great practice management tool for law firms. It has the ability to calendar and template. It's got so many features. There's Clio Grow, Clio Manage. There's a lot of components. Clio's got its own AI that's incredible for the attorney side. So Clio is great. It's got client portals. It's got strong trust safeguards. It's great for firms that are scaling and growing. LeanLaw is another tool. It's not an all-in-one. It's a billing software, but there's a lot of metrics you can pull from it. It's still great for that mid-size or bigger firm. You can add a lot of people onto it. It's very versatile. LeanLaw is one of my favorite because of the way it spits the data out. It's a two-way sync, which is one of the only software that I know of in legal tools that spits it out with a two-way sync. So I can make a change here and I can make a change here and it stays the same. Where if you do that in Clio, it's a one-way sync and it makes a duplicate entry and we have to stay behind it and make sure we keep on top of those things. It does a great job. You can track time. You can bill by all the different ways that attorneys bill. Fixed fee billing, evergreen. It's got so many components to those type of things that a lot of firms are really, quite frankly, getting away from that hourly billing and going towards these type of billing methods. Leads billing, LeanLaw does a fantastic job on all of those things. And like I said, they got some metrics you can track, and you can do a lot in that product that you don't see a lot of products do, and it's affordable. So there's that. My Case has real-time dashboards built in, and all of these products have good dashboards. They have an all-in-one with My Case, and they also have a standalone that kind of adds on to QuickBooks like Clio and LeanLaw does. The all-in-one's not great, so I would not go with that. But with My Case, it has a pretty good product for the attorney side. For the accounting side, not so much. Every payment goes into the bank and you have to take them out and put them in undeposited funds. If your client doesn't make a one-for-one transfer and maybe makes bills once a month and makes a bulk transfer, you have to go in and make all your payments undeposited funds and group it. It's a very time-consuming, tedious task. It gets stuck. Clients will make a couple of customers and then they'll realize they made the same customer with the same name and they make one inactive, and then it breaks the synchronization between the two products, the integration. So My Case, not a fan. I don't recommend it to clients, but it is out there and the attorneys do love it for what it does. The UI is not that bad. They just recently updated and it looks pretty good. Cosmolex is your true all-in-one. Been around for a while. It's very good for that. You'll get your three-way out of it automatically. Very rigid product. If you have to fix something from a year ago or 6 months ago, you're gonna have to break all your reconciliations and re-reconcile. It's the only way it can fix it. The UI is not as user-friendly. It's got a learning curve to it, but it is a good product. If you're looking for an all-in-one where you don't have a QuickBooks, it's a good product. It's probably the only one I would recommend if somebody wanted the all-in-one at this point. I know Clio is making an all-in-one as well. This started, so it's not really a great product yet. For the all-in-one, the regular Clio, excellent. Regular Clio and the Clio Manage, all of that, that's excellent. We've got Practice Panther, pretty product. UI is terrible. I don't think it's as bad as My Case when it comes to the integration, but it still has its issues. It's definitely difficult. It says you can reconcile, but it's very weak in the reconciliation. It's a clicking a box and that can get unclicked very easily. It's okay for smaller firms. It has a lot of weaknesses when you start to really look at it, especially with trying to figure out trusts and balances ongoing. There's another product called Trust Books, very basic, started by an attorney here in Florida. It's okay, it's simple, it's a dedicated tool just for trust accounting. So one of the things I can tell you as a little pro tip, if you are working with any of these products and you set your files up properly where you can see on the balance sheet all the different client ledgers, it's an easy way to keep track of it. LeanLaw does it for you, so you can keep track of it, and they protect the client from overstating their trust. They protect from paying back more money than they received. You want to look for those negatives and see those problems as they come in. That's something you definitely want to look for, and you want to integrate these products with QuickBooks. I know some people don't think you should, but I think you should. There's good, quick setup processes on most of these. LeanLaw does a great job with helping you connect the file and create the products that are necessary inside of QuickBooks and connecting as you go inside of their product. It's all done right there. Clio, you have to set up the products ahead of time and then go back in and do that piece to connect them. But you want to pick software for your clients that they can grow into if they end up growing their firm. A lot of clients don't think their firm's going to grow, but they grow rather quickly. Set up profiles. Make sure you link the IOLTA accounts. Make sure all of them get linked if they've got multiple. Import the data accurately. And when you first set it up, if it's got a way to import the data, make sure you double back and protect QuickBooks. If you don't want to pull it in from the beginning of time, put a password in there, an accounting password into QuickBooks so that Clio's not sending all that data over. So make sure you do that properly. Do test reconciliations, schedule reports, make sure you preserve reports, use automatic tracking, alerts, do the invoicing, set up a process for the invoicing is very important. For full compliance, you must reconcile monthly. That's key. Keep 6 to 7 years of records for most jurisdictions. Look it up though, might be more for your area. Run internal audits, do spot checks, send data securely and proactively. So looking ahead into 2026, as we're in the thick of it right now, it's going to bring you more into AI. and AI alerts, AI automation. More things can be done with client portals and organizing data. So try to stay ahead of that now by adopting a lot of these processes that are out there now. But make sure you test it out. Talk to your peers, see what people are using, see what people have tried. Maybe it didn't work out, and maybe look into what will work for your firm in particular, or work with the lawyer's firm. A lot of times the lawyers will be in court and they'll talk about software, and one will be talking to the other and they'll say, oh, I've got this, maybe I should change to this software, and try to help guide them through that process, because changing software is not as easy as flipping a light switch. It's intense. There's a learning curve, there's a cost to it. So it's very important that all of those things are in consideration. Which tool are you thinking about using or switching to? Or maybe which tool is your attorney bringing up to you and want to change to? Drop it in the comments below and we'll help you to think about the future and where it's going to change and what is it going to look like. And maybe let us know. Subscribe to our legal bookkeeping tips in our newsletter. We'll have a link below as well. And thank you for watching, and try to keep those trust accounts compliant, keep your clients happy, and we'll see you all next time. Bye now.